When my grandmother died, I inherited some of her things, some old books, 2 or 3 photo albums, and one thing that sent shivers down my spine: a jester clown doll. It was in a small wooden box, wrapped in an old red cloth. Its porcine face was frozen. Her deep blue eyes were shining in the dim light of the room. The doll was wearing a tattered old jester's dress of red and gold, and the 2 long ends of her hat were hanging with bells. I didn't understand why Grandma kept such a thing carefully. I don't remember ever seeing this doll in her house. Maybe it was her childhood toy, or it must have been bought from some antique shop. Whatever it was, I didn't like it, but I couldn't throw it away. It was a memory of Grandma, so I brought it home. That same night I had my first dream. I was lying on my tree but felt something strange. The air was heavy, as if something was pressing me. My body was frozen. I couldn't move, couldn't even turn my head. Then I heard a slight tinkling, as if small bells were shaking. This sound was coming from the foot of my bed. I wanted to breathe, wanted to scream, but my body refused. The jester doll was no longer small. It was human-sized. It stood at the edge of the bed. Its smiling face seemed even more terrifying. There was a sparkle in its blue eyes. "I like watching you sleep," it said, in a voice that was both funny and cold. I wanted to run, to wake up, to get away from it. But then I woke up screaming. My heart was pounding. My sheets were soaked with sweat. It was just a nightmare, I told myself, but then my eyes filled the chair in the corner of the room. The jester doll was sitting there. I had put it on the shelf. The next night the same thing happened again. I was in a dream, but everything seemed real. I was lying on the tree. The room was completely silent. I turned my head towards the chair. The doll was gone. A chill ran down my spine. The sound of the jingling bells. The sound of the jingling bells was coming from beneath my bed. I couldn't move, couldn't even breathe. Slowly a hand came up from the edge of the mattress. Porcelain fingers with tiny cracks in them. The smiling face of the jester emerged from the darkness. His blue eyes were looking straight into mine. Then he said, "Why did you bring me here?" I got up with a start. My body was trembling. I looked at the chair. The doll was not there. My stomach turned as I looked around the room. And then, I saw the jester doll sitting on my nightstand, looking straight at me. Strange things kept happening over the next few days. I would put the doll in one place, but after a while it would be found somewhere else. One day I locked it in a cabinet in the hallway and went to take a shower. When I returned, it was sitting on the sofa. I tried to convince myself that maybe I had forgotten. Maybe I had put the doll somewhere else myself. But somewhere deep down, I knew that wasn't true. Then one night, I heard a sound that chilled my soul. Laughter, a soft, childish laughter that echoed through the room. I suddenly got up from the bed. My heart was pounding. I picked up my mobile and turned on the flashlight. I slowly leaned over the edge of the bed, shined the flashlight down. The jester doll was there. Her smiling face looked bigger than before. I turned off the flashlight and stepped back in fear. My whole body was trembling. I had to end this. I picked up the doll and ran straight down. I opened the basement door. My hands were trembling as I entered the cold, crisp air. An old wooden box was lying in the corner. I put the doll in it and immediately locked it. Then I ran straight up and slammed the basement door. I breathed a sigh of relief. Everything was over, or at least that's what I thought. That very night, a sound woke me up. The sound of a heavy thud was reverberating outside my bedroom door. I lay there holding my breath, clutching the blanket tightly. Then came another sound, a child crying. But a voice full of pain said, "Let me out." I didn't sleep that night. The next night, I had the worst nightmare. I was in bed, but I couldn't move. There was a heavy weight on my chest. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. The jester doll was sitting on my chest. Her paws were wrapped around my neck. She squeezed it tight. She said, "Now you can't let me out. I'm yours." My vision was blurry. My breathing stopped. Then I woke up with a loud gasp. My whole body was drenched in sweat and my neck was burning, as if someone had really choked me. And the jester doll was lying in the doorway of my room. I didn't want to spend another night in that house. I picked the doll up, wrapped it in an old red cloth, and drove straight to my grandmother's grave. The cemetery was silent, only the soft sound of the wind whistling through the trees. I stood in front of her headstone, holding the doll firmly in my hands. "I don't know what you have there," I said, "but I don't want it." I placed the doll in front of their grave and immediately backed away. Nothing happened for a while. Then as I turned away from there, I heard a sound, a slight jingle. I did not look back, ran straight to the car, started the engine and left from there. I never saw the jester doll again, but sometimes in the silence of the night I feel I still hear its voice. That soft, cold sound of bells, waiting. This story is based on a video in which a man inherits a clown doll from his grandmother. Within a few days, the doll starts appearing around the house on its own, which frightens the man so much that he records everything and shares it on the internet. What do you think about this video? Please tell us in the comments.